you guys are watching, you can tell me when it's live, and let me know when it's live. Everybody see?
Cyan says it's been a long three. Oh,
Are we live?
we are live.
All righty. Welcome, everybody, to Motorcycle Podcast Challenge 2019, Week 3. I'm one of the admins, the host. I don't know what I am. Slacker, the trade. I don't know.
Host with the most smiles.
Yeah, yeah. And as you heard in the background there, you have we're joined tonight with Chris Geis from Team Throttled.
Hello, everybody.
And as you heard, also have the other lovely half of the admin staff, Miss Natalie.
Hi.
So, are we ready? Let's see. What shall we dive into first?
Well, let's ask Chris. Chris.
Yeah.
What did you think of the challenge the first 3 weeks?
I think it's been awesome. It's definitely, well, this is my second year participating. I think it's getting better every year. I think you guys are going to have your hands full next year. Like, I'm just curious to see what you're going to come up with, because it's kind of interesting. Like, the thing I was looking at is, I think you kind of have to change the game a little bit every year, because so last year, I know you guys probably don't want to hear this. I mean, this format was excellent this year, right? But it's like, so last year was streets, and people kind of figured that out by the third week, and then with cities, and then this year it's the streets, and everyone's kind of got that down. So to keep the challenge there, it's like, okay, so how do you tweak it for next year? But
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
Ted is saying the sound is out of sync with the video. I don't know how to fix that.
I don't know how to fix that either.
Yeah, there must be a delay. It's weird because like I'm watching the live thing with you, John, and then I'm watching me on YouTube, and yeah, the video is off what I'm saying.
I can't help that. I don't know what to do differently.
Ted, just pretend it's a badly dubbed foreign film.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ted. We're using Google Hangouts,
we can
YouTube.
talk in foreign tongues or something.
Yes.
I don't know what to deal with, so don't know, my friend. All right, so that's pretty cool. Yes. To actually answer it, we have already started thinking for 2020.
Okay.
Excuse me. And we already have some ideas. And stick around, because we might let something out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Might be a big announcement at the end.
All right.
All right. So there is that little announcement. And I see what Ted's talking about being delayed. I can see it on the video for myself. So I am sorry, everybody, for that. I have no control over that.
That's funny. Lloyd just said it's like an old kung fu film. Oh, it gets you so quick.
Yeah. All right. So let's do a little calls like we normally do. And the first thing I'll say is post this week started off awful slow.
Really slow. I was like, what's going on? I even texted John. I'm like, John, are you getting anything?
Yeah,
because it's really, really slow.
I don't know if people were busy with the holiday or what was happening. Or
probably tired.
Tired could be. And then let's give a call again to Ted, Chris, and Larry for completing all their letters this week. So that was pretty cool to see again.
All right.
Yeah, the hostesses with the mostesses.
That was fun.
Yeah. The other thing, trying to do a quick little survey thing, I'll get it out early. We are in the process of creating a survey, and we will get that out as soon as the challenge is completed. And would love to get everybody's feedback. We take the feedback
very seriously.
Seriously, I know that there's some chat in there, and I think that we try to take everybody's feedback and analyze it and try to figure out if it works. And in fact, Natalie said earlier that we think Nikki
Schroeder, and I know someone else said it, but I can't remember who.
I want to think it was Beulah, threw out the idea of using lowest score.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right.
But that just to prove. Just please give us your suggestions, any ideas of ways you think to improve it, because we do pay attention.
Correct. So, all right. Moving on. What shall we cover? The Flash Challenge from last week.
Good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Chris, were you around for the payphone?
No, that was that first. It was first year, right?
That was second year. That was the
was
second year. Yeah, when
Oh,
everybody
that's
had
right. This is
4.
4. Gotcha.
I
Right.
felt this
No,
one was
yeah, it
on
wasn't-
par with the payphone.
What the child ride?
Yes.
I thought so too.
I mean, this one was maybe a little easier, just in that you didn't have to actually go for a ride. Like, it didn't have to work, right? I think that was the problem with the
Yeah.
phones, right? It was like, which I think that was a cool idea, that you had to find a phone and then call, right? Call the admins. But here, you just had to, well, in my case, squeeze into the thing, and that was good enough.
yeah, it was kind of fun to see people try to find them and do that challenge. I thought that was a really cool one. I know the first week one. I know everybody had a lot of fun with the first week, and then this last week, I was hoping everybody would have fun, and I think they did.
Yeah.
So, and this week's flash challenge, a lot of people took the mileage over half the words, because last week everybody took the Z, get rid of the Z,
Yeah.
Well, Z is a biggie.
and then everybody this week, I think the very option was taking mileage of the host. So that's pretty cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we get out to the next little thing here, sweetie?
Yes.
Let's the next little thing.
All right. So John and I have been toying with this idea of coming up with like superlatives for the challenge. So we came up with, what was it?
Seven.
6 or 7?
7.
Okay. So I'm going to start it out.
Okay.
And I'm going to say most likely to invest in night vision goggles before the NPC 2020 starts.
Okay. What you got?
You tell me.
Well, Rodney Green always liked to go ride in the dark.
Yeah.
All right. And then Alex Petzel got out at midnight.
Yeah.
And then the other interesting one
Larry.
was Larry from Creative. Always.
Larry likes to creep around in the dark.
Yeah, that's weird.
Let's see. Is Larry on? Because we have to bust his chops. Then no, he's not.
All right. So let's go with this one. Most likely to drop some knowledge on us with their submission.
And that one goes to
Ooh.
Chad Clink.
Nice.
Yeah.
He always had a little tidbit,
Yeah.
even if it was just a little song or something that related to his sign.
All right. Most likely to stop traffic.
Whether she was doing cartwheels or doing a salsa, that one's going to be Narissa Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. All right. Most likely to ride to the end of
The known universe
for a
Oh.
letter.
just to get a letter. We're going to give that one to Zion.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets on that bike and he goes.
Go Zion. That's awesome.
Rider most likely to think the neighbors are calling the cops on them.
That one's Kim Dawson.
Really?
She always felt like somebody was watching her, I believe.
Yeah. All right. So let's go with this one.
Most likely to have a restraining order taken out against them
That'd be Chris Geis.
for talking poor Gina B.
Too bad she's not listening. That's good. That's good.
All right. And then
I'll
our
take it.
last one,
Yeah.
the person most likely to start a photojournalism site about their rides, Patrick Burns.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let me do something here. Let me see if I can do something else. Here. Give me a second. Open link. And this is we had a independent person through the challenge watching the videos and gave us 3 videos that they thought were the best,
Most entertaining.
most entertaining. And let me see if I can do the screen share here with us. Application window, share. Oh,
Can I guess? Ooh, look, Infinity.
go for it.
I'm guessing one of them was Narissa's cartwheel.
No, we are
No?
going-
That was
No?
honorable mention.
Okay.
honorable
Oh,
mention.
I know. I didn't
Let's
watch
see if we
all
can
the
hear this
videos.
one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Did you hear that, Chris?
No, I just heard like a little murmur.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So I will skip that. Sorry, everybody. It's Noris's Ryan Road with a Wisconsin accent, purple
Okay,
people eater, and everything else. That was
that was a good one too.
probably the best one that we had.
and then that was followed up.
That was followed up by
Chris Sing Sign,
and his Zion.
which was his answer
Yep.
to Narissa.
Okay.
And then the last one is Sir Mike and his
Sparkle.
Joe
Street.
Joe Street. So that's the one that we got. He called out.
Those are the
After
ones
what?
that he found very entertaining.
I have to watch that one. I missed
Yep.
the Joe Street
Yep.
one.
Yep. So we'll put those out in the link and see how everything comes.
Cool.
All right.
So let's get on to a little bit of the statistics.
No,
Stats.
isn't it time to draw the letters?
No, we gotta. Aren't we
No,
gonna do
no.
this more?
No letters. No more letters.
We got letters. There's letters. We got to draw
Well,
letters.
we might. Yeah, we might have letters. I'm waiting to see.
Do we have letters?
All right, well, go ahead.
I'm gonna predict that there's letters for listeners. I'm not sure about the podcast. I'm thinking podcast may not be a tiebreaker. But we'll see. We'll see, obviously.
Letters all going back in, right?
We got all of them back in there. Oh, there's one missing.
Oh, that's right.
So, if you all remember, one of your choices for week 1 was Risky Business.
Week 2.
Week 2 / Challenge 1, and we had 3 people who took Risky Business,
Yep.
and out of those 3, only 2 actually took the letter.
Yep. Now, the sad part is they would have gotten, or they got the letter X.
Oh.
Ugh.
So
They were like, "Dang, what were the odds?" I mean,
that wasn't correct thing to do. We didn't know.
we didn't know what was in there when we drew it.
All right.
But that's why
But
it's
you know what?
risky business.
They made the best of it.
All right. So all the letters are back in there.
You ready to fire it up?
Now.
Why?
We
You don't want to
We
fire
need
it
a
up?
little more suspense.
No.
We need Ted with some background sounds. Hey Ted, you got your sound machine?
So we're going to talk about the listeners, right? Let me look on my sheet here. Well, the results came in.
Okay.
There is no 4th week for the listeners.
Really?
We have a winner
We have a winner.
for our
Ooh.
listeners.
Winner chicken dinner.
Do tell.
All right.
Hey, don't be making promises our budget can't afford.
Oh, yeah, that is true. All right. So we will go with the top 5.
Okay.
All right. And it was a very interesting week.
Okay.
All right. So coming in 5th place was Zach
Go, Zach.
All right.
with an
Zach.
overall score of 205 points.
That's a pretty good score.
It was. So that was Team Throttle. Coming in 4th was Annette Darth with
Go,
Granamoto
Annette.
with 192 points.
Ooh.
All right. Coming in 3rd place was Alex Petzel with Throttle with 191 points.
Go, Alex.
Go, Alex.
All right. Now, there's a tie for 2nd.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. With 188 points. We have
Come on, man. Spit it out.
Mercedes from Granamoto
Go, Mercedes.
Oh, cool.
and Zion from Loud Pipes.
Zion.
All right.
So that leaves the old winner with 179 points
Wait. Let's see. Drum roll.
from Team Granamoto, Alana Martinez.
Wow.
Hey, go, Alana.
Awesome. Congratulations. Well done, Alana.
Them California girls made a showing.
They did. They did. Now, let me kind of do a little in how that what came out.
Okay.
So Alana took the Flash Challenge. Pretty much everybody in the top 5 took the Flash Challenge of the hostess miles. Or no, sorry. Let me recheck something. Hang on a
Going
minute.
the distance.
Um, and
What are you rechecking?
I'm looking at something. Yes, they did going to distance. Now, Beulah from Moto, we'll talk about a little mileage, did 3,100 miles over the 3 weeks.
That's a lot of miles.
And
Wait, sorry, how many again?
3,100.
Nice.
So she was actually, Beulah from the host was the actual top host mileage. Zion came in second with 3,000. Now, if you watch the Facebook stuff, and I know it's kind of hard for some people with some stuff, Beulah actually rode in 3 days from California to Wisconsin to deliver a bike for a friend.
Mm.
So that's where she racked up her miles.
Nice.
It was really close. And
Really close. We
it
did
was-
not know who was.
yeah, we didn't have any ideas until today on who actually won the listener.
I mean, John was going crazy. He was like trying to see 20 different thousand futures, and he was trying to calculate if they do this, if they do that, if this comes in this way, if they choose that Flash Challenge, if they ride this many miles, this is who's going to win. I mean,
Yep.
my head wanted to explode.
Yep. So some little results. So from week 3, 39 out of 52 people submitted at least one sign. 34 completed all signs. 2 riders are tied. This is for the individual for the overall for week 3. 2 riders are tied for top spot. 13 riders in the top 3. So
And week 3, top 10.
yep, week 3 top 10. All right.
So great job.
Great job. Awesome.
All right.
All right. So shall we talk about the podcast?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So,
There was a lot going on with the podcast.
yes. Better keep me on my toes.
You know, and it's funny, and I'm not gonna try to compare it all, but I was doing the admin for our team, and I got a little tiny taste of what you guys are up against because I was like going nuts, like trying to find posts and like where's this one at and where's that one at, and it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave me a little tiny peek into what you guys were doing for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. So
my podcast hosts, I'm sorry I have to say this, but that 4th week, well, we're going to have to call it off because we have a winner.
All right.
we have it up. We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Okay. So what shall we do about this? Talk about the scores, overall scores, like we did the same with the listeners.
Go for it.
All right. Coming in 4th place with 242 points was Motorcycle Man. Ted did another good job, Ted.
He
I
did
know
awesome.
I know you're
Awesome.
online.
Awesome.
And I know it looks like you keep getting, I don't know, Favoozle every year, but
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled. I mean, you guys, you were out there, Ted, and love seeing you in a challenge. So,
Ted's got heart.
yeah, he does.
Ted does it with style. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. In 3rd place, because there's actually a tie
Uh-oh.
for one position.
Okay.
In 3rd place.
I guess it's not first since we have a winner.
Yeah,
That's what I'm guessing too, but
In 3rd, with 239 points, is Girl on a Moto.
all right, girl in a moto.
All right. Coming in 2nd place
Drum roll.
Well, wait. Let me do my little crappy drum roll.
with 200 points.
I think
We have Creative Riding.
Oh.
Oh, Larry.
And
And
Throttled.
throttled.
wow.
So with 197 points, 3 points off, There's a lot of pipes. There's one podcast challenge.
Way to go, Loud Pipes. Awesome, guys.
Yep.
I mean, it was close this year. It was a challenge with the lowest street names.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was really hard, and it came down to
We were even concerned that with all the little twists and turns we tried to add with the flash challenges, that there still might be a tie.
Yep.
And we would have to rely on that fourth week.
Correct.
But we don't.
Yep. So let's see here. Overall mileage, no. Let's see here.
Hey John, how many miles are ridden for the whole challenge?
All right. So for a whole challenge, I gotta add that back up.
Oh, you didn't add it up.
I had it on the sheet downstairs. So I went through with everybody's challenge point or miles. If I can type here, everybody in the challenge rode 41,000, and we'll just round it up to 200 miles.
Crap. Y'all some riding
41,000?
fools.
Yep. So it was down from last year because we're up in the 50s last year, I thought.
We had more California girls last year too.
But you had to ride more to get to those letters.
Yeah.
Or the signs. So I broke it down to teams.
Mm-hmm.
So creative riding team did 11,000 miles themselves with the whole team.
Dang.
Wow.
And this includes hosts.
Bama got a workout.
Gronamoto had 9,500. Law Pipes had 89.97. Throttle was 87.47.5. And Ted, you guys brought in 28.65.
Nice.
Well, now come on. If you didn't round up anybody else's, Girl on a Moto did 9,534 miles.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did good. I mean, those girls rode. So I got another stat. So Zion did over 3,000. Beulah did over 3,000 on as a host. And we had 10 listeners did over 1,000 miles during the challenge. So, and I think it was like 3 did over 2,000 miles. So
Cool. Yeah, no, Alex was one.
Yep. So that's what it came down to. It was a very interesting challenge.
All right. So
Yeah.
I got a question for Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we done with all the stats?
We are done with the stats.
So I just had it. So what was the point spread between first and second?
3 points.
Wow, that's close.
So it's 3 points.
You got this.
And then it was
Rich and team pulled it off. Awesome.
yeah, they did.
And we didn't know until what, about 4 o'clock today,
Oh wow.
who had won?
Yeah, it was late in the day. So between first and fourth was 45 points difference.
We did our best to make it unpredictable this year because last year, if you had followed along, it was kind of obvious who had won.
Yeah. And I that's one thing that we wanted to do, and that's this year. I want to keep the suspense.
Just more excitement.
More excitement.
Yeah.
Wait till the last minute. Try to hold it out. I think we did that. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm waiting to see what happens. And I know that a lot of people posted some feedback that we did a great job, and thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All for your kind words. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Natalie says, so what are you going to do now
For the next
with your
week.
free time?
So does RW Studios send you away for this week now? since there's no tiebreaker.
I get an all expense paid trip to work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely, yeah, I really appreciate what you guys did. I know everybody does, all the listeners and the hosts and co-hosts. It's nice that you guys kind of take one for the teams because it's a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Chris, how did you like the street signs?
I liked it. I think it was good because I did like last year and riding to the different towns and stuff, but the street signs was good because there was just so many choices.
And
I
it allowed
think
people who couldn't ride all over the countryside.
right, that they could
to
go out
participate.
at lunchtime or something. Yeah, so I think that's really good. I think it's also interesting, but maybe not surprising that like how many areas of the country have streets like with the same names. Like if you look at some of the submissions, and you guys would know better, but it's like there's a den and a Dan and a zoo and a like every like California has them, and we had them, and everybody had them.
Right.
I mean, one thing I would say, I don't know if if you're going to do something like this again last year, is maybe one thing I would do is flip it. So because you're going for low score in this case, would be make the common letters higher points, like flip the points, because it was kind of, it was, what I'm saying? It was kind of easy to be like, okay, this is what we have to do. We have to find 3-letter streets, and whatever the first letter is, and then, one of these other letters, in the 3-point category. But I mean, other than that, which is a minor thing, and it's funny because this year, like Gina and I went old school. Like we just had these, fortunately, I had actually was going to throw them out a couple months ago, but she kept them and gave them to her boss at work. I had these really cool atlases, like these Hackstrom, like paper, like laminated plastic things, spiral bound deals. And so she grabbed those, and we were just like flipping through the back going, okay, alphabetical list of streets. Here's everything on Long Island,
Yeah.
Where last year we were a lot more high tech, finding online databases and Excel spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff,
Right. Is anything coming in from the stream?
They were talking about rain. Kenny wants that trophy in Pennsylvania.
Kenny, you got to talk to Rich. I don't have no control over where that ends up.
Street signs were nice for us folks who don't have a bunch of free time. That was from Lloyd Hudson, and Kim Dawson agreed.
Yeah, that's something we swapped around with the street signs, because I fear that a lot of people, when we came up with the idea of changing the target, was where could we go? What could people do shortly, quickly? Take a half a day, do whatever you got. I mean,
or go 3 states over and just pick up a random R.
I guarantee Zion did that.
Someone, Uniclocker, said make the letter values more random, like A1, B2, C3, etc. Really mix things up. A 4-letter word could be worth less than a 3. So,
okay. All right. Yeah. Like I said, so survey will be going out. With this in the next couple of days is my plan.
And Chris, I wanted to address your concern about the geotagging.
Yeah.
The reason that we're not going to go with that is I have firsthand experience. What my job is.
Sure.
I have a street that the street is known by one name, but on maps, it is a different name.
Oh, interesting.
So it depends on when the map was updated, which platform you're using as to what the name is.
Right.
So that's the reason we're sticking with the street signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. And that's why, like when I just went back, I looked at the rules. I mean, the rules say you ride to a street sign. So I'm like, okay, that's what the rules say. The only point I was just trying to make is just in the spirit of it. It's like, to me, it was like, okay, so you ride to a destination and just have proof of it, but that's totally fine.
Right. Right.
And you guys were consistent in how you handled it. So it's,
and that's the thing. I know when questions came out in the first week, we sat there and we debated it
back and forth.
I would say the first one was Patrick's with Trout, and he came up and said, this, I don't have this sign. It's been vandalized. It's this, and this.
Yeah.
And I threw out, okay, if I go on Google Maps and I can see there is a sign, or is there supposed to be a sign there? Do we go with that? But his was very interesting. I used Google Maps and I followed this road up and down, back and forth, and I could not find the sign. Even in the Google Streets, the sign was gone. I accidentally went past the sign and turned around and came back, and there was a picture of the sign.
Oh.
Scroll ahead one scroll of the mouse wheel and it's gone.
Yep. So there's some places that lost photos sitting on a Google server or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that when we came out, we said whatever we decided we want to stick to throughout the challenge.
So we're like, let's just make it simple and
then Jacob for Loud Pipes had an issue with one of his street signs that wasn't a sign. He put a post, and we actually said no, it wasn't going to be allowed. So
yeah.
And then I think it was Rodney Green rode out to a street, and the street had been renamed.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was lucky enough to go down towards like a dead end section of that street, I believe. Don't
Or
hold me
something
to
going
this.
into that.
And
Yeah.
there was one of the old signs still up.
Right.
So it was, there's a lot of weird things that we couldn't even begin to think
Yeah.
of.
And
Sure.
and I get your point, Chris, and I'd love to say we'd love to take the geocode, but the problem with that would be, and I'd be worried. Same thing Nelly says, is let's say you go to a street and it's this, but geocode shows something else, different point value, what you take, and then I just think
No,
we
I
could
get
start getting more and more
no,
nightmares.
yeah, like I said, when I looked at the rules, the way they're written actually is very good because it says it's not. I mean, it says you ride to a street sign. I was like, okay, why? What's my argument now? You know,
Yeah,
it's like-
yeah, it's
so that was no, it was fine. It was good.
we spent a lot of time on those rules to try to make sure they're
John will literally hound me around the house. Will you look at this? Look at this. I'm like, I need a
Mm.
break. He's like,
Yeah, but we got
was that long enough? Will you look at this now?
yeah. All right, shall we
That's
get
good.
into some 2020 news?
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Kim
yeah.
Dawson says, I would like no repeat letters. I'm like, well, Kim, that kind of added a little
So, Kim,
excitement
you
to
want to
that.
talk about no repeat letters? If that person's still in that channel and that thing, talk to Ted. That was Ted's idea
Yeah.
from year 2. He says, so you guys, because year 2, we didn't repeat. And Ted goes, it'd be cool if you put them back in the ball.
I
That was
I think it's good. Although I was concerned it was going to bite me because I was going. I didn't need to get all 6, but just for the fun of it, I was going getting 6 letters, and the whole time I'm thinking, okay, what if they pick the letter again, and then the one I got that's a half an hour away, I can't reuse it, right? And then I got to go drive whatever upstate New York or something to get it. But fortunately, it was not a problem.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else in there?
No, I think that's it. You guys got any more questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mhm.
All right.
No, I think
All
everybody in
right.
there
So,
is good.
here's some 2020 news we're going to let out of the bag. The first one, and I'm sorry, and this is kind of a sad one for me. Nally will not be an admin next year.
She's
And I
buying
want-
she's buying a motorcycle.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
And I want to say thank you for your support for the last 3 years
Oh, absolutely.
of the challenge.
Awesome.
Appreciated it.
Greatly
And,
appreciated.
Well, you know I'm going to be puttering around in the background.
You're not going to let go.
I'm going to be puttering around.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll still be around.
Actually, she'll be a consultant now. She could actually start charging RW Studios.
Oh, wow.
I have 4 years experience at this now, and
Yeah.
I am the premier consultant for the NPC.
Yeah. And with that, we have a listener that has offered to step in and help, and we will announce who that is at a later date and time.
Yeah, and
cool.
we'll get her up to snuff.
Them.
Them up to snuff.
Yes, we will. Okay.
50% of the population is women. They're not really going to narrow it down.
Yeah. All right. And since we've talked about it already, we've already started looking at rule changes for 2020. And can say for right now, we like how 2019 went. And I think
I like
Chris,
it a lot.
I think Chris, you agreed that it went really well
Yes.
on everything.
I like the team scoring structure,
Yep.
the format, the way everyone had a chance to be used for the team.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing I would throw in is maybe some kind of change so that the co-hosts have to participate a little more. Like it was good because I think you guys were trying to have not too much onus on the co-host, the host
Okay.
co-host, right?
Yeah, we were trying to
But-
make it more inclusive of the listeners.
Yeah.
Which I think was really successful, and that was really good. But it kind of was kind of like we could, if we wanted, just kind of sit back. So
Yeah.
whatever, just
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever. Let's see what the other guys say with
Yep.
Ted and
No,
Larry.
no,
and-
something's going to come out. I'll say that is in the survey. So
Okay,
there's
that's
a
fine.
question about that. So
All right, so can I make this one?
yeah,
Can I
you
make
can,
this announcement?
yeah, you can make given the sneak preview. Go for it.
All right. So before I leave, I am going to iron this out with John. We are going to have this thing
Uh-oh.
ironclad.
Uh-oh.
All right.
So you're going to start this tomorrow, right?
I need a break.
Yeah, take a night off.
Just it's half a day off. Okay.
All right, get on the mic.
So we want to make this bigger and better. We want to have more people come in. I mean, we want everybody's friends and families and everybody who's looking. And we have had an influx of people here in the last week wanting to join the challenge. I'm not sure how word is getting out, but it's just every morning, such and such would like to join, such and such would like to join. And I'm like, hey, we're in the middle. You can't participate this year, but you're more than welcome to hang out. We got some awesome people in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great sign though.
Yes,
That's
it is.
happening. That is awesome.
So what we are going to do is we are going to open this thing up.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
We are going to allow people to make their own teams. You do not have to be reliant on your podcast being a part of the NPC, because we did have some people this year who wanted to,
Okay.
but their podcast wasn't really interested in doing it. They didn't know about it. And
They didn't want to sign up for, the host didn't want to sign up for and stuff. So we are allowing, so you're going to allow, we haven't actually worked out all the details, just it's brainstorming. Rich might shoot us for letting it out, but anyways, he can shoot me later.
Don't shoot the consultants.
I'm still staff right now. So
Okay, all right.
But yes, we wanted to give that tidbit out. Like, let's let you guys think about it and start planning. But the one rule that we are going to have is that if it is a team for a podcast, one of the on-air hosts must be the team captain.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, like Chris, if you decide so you want to write a podcast show on, but one of your listeners wanted to do it, they can't use it. You'd have to start the team.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And I mean,
I'm in.
I know. We still want the podcast to be involved. We still want them to be there. We're not saying bye podcast.
No, we would like more podcasts.
We like more podcasts. Sure. We have people that have said, I think they would join, but they don't know podcasts. They don't know what it is, who it is. So it's a way to allow more people in.
I mean, our advertising budget is like nil.
Yeah.
So it's literally word of mouth.
Yeah. Right. So,
but this started out as a semi-friendly competition among a handful of podcasts.
Mm-hmm. It did.
And then we're like, hey, let's bring in the listeners.
Yep.
The following year, the third year is like, hey, how can we incorporate them actually into the challenge with their favorite show?
Yeah. And I know not trying to hash more about 2019 and why we did team format, but last year I felt that the writers or the listeners did so much for the podcast teams.
I mean, Girl and Moto had 60 people, but we were only using one.
So we had to come up with something, and this is, I think, a real good way to allow them to partake, join in, feel part more of a team. And I don't know how you did it, Chris. As you said, if you're being dabbing on your side, I'm not sure, if you're, I will not say put your strategy out. So don't say anything. Leave it to yourself. So others, unless you want to share, I don't care. And dang, I gotta stop watching the video because it's so screwed up.
I know, it's messing me up too. It's like...
And I think we have Mr. Richard Warfield.
There's the champion.
Do I have any audio or no?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Hey, congrats.
I was figuring that. So I had just a ton of things to do. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get home. I gotta drop one of these. Hold on. I get home, got to get the audio out, get the newsletter out, get all that stuff done, start planning for the runoff week. Not imagining that it would be a celebration. I got my beer ready. I'm ready to get to work.
Well, you can celebrate with that. That's dual purpose.
Indeed.
Well done, guys. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, and I thank everyone for participating, but Zion was clearly the MVP.
Yeah, he did a kick-ass job.
Yeah, and I feel bad I didn't get any more miles. I guess had I known that, I would have ridden a little more, but
Yeah.
I did 82 miles last night to get the 500.
Oh, nice.
I got home and he's like, how many miles do you have? And I'm like, don't worry about the mileage. You're going to need to go and pick something else. And I calculated. I'm like, oh, it's like 420 whatever miles. And he goes, can you get 500? It's like 9 o'clock at night.
Zion is
Hey, man,
dedicated.
you got to do it for the team. Yeah.
That's
cool.
like, I'm like, all right, I got 2 sport bikes. Why not? I go jumped on the highway and
Blasted some miles.
just blasted up and down, made a grocery store stop. So
That's cool. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at numbers today, just trying to kind of predict where things were going to go. And I think I had you by 1 mile on mileage. I was 503, you were 502, I think, right? So I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't ridden down to Jersey this past weekend for that vintage motorcycle festival, which was awesome, by the way.
and I sort of lost track. I'm like, I know Chris has been riding for the letters. I'm like, I don't know if Kevin's been riding much. I'm like, so I think Chris is the mileage man. And John knows I don't like Facebook. I want a chronological order of that data.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you're trying to find things and it's like, oh no, I've got nothing here. And you're scrolling. Oh, I already saw that. Oh, there's another one I already saw.
You
Frustrating.
have to be all over Facebook to keep up with this.
And I don't know what's that nice feature of Facebook when you search. Like, it's real good at bringing up search results, but it doesn't put them in chronological order. It's like some brand, I don't know, semi-random order.
I think it
It's
puts
really
it in
weird.
the order that the last person commented on.
Oh,
With the
Yeah,
most
so-
recent activity.
Yeah. It's the most recent
Okay.
activity.
okay. I mean, that makes sense, but that's not that helpful. At least for me, it wasn't for
Yeah.
what I was doing.
It's really hard, and I missed some. And maybe this is something I did this year, and I wanted to expand on it for next year. Is those emails at the end, and I don't know where my head was last night because I screwed up so many last night. I got email, people checked them, and then I started rechecking them. And Larry from Creative, I missed 2 of his letters over the weekend. I don't know where they went, and I went and looked for them, and there they were. And I think that was a cool thing. That was a lot of work on my part. Next year it's going to be fixed.
Yeah, John and I are going to put probably the next 6 months, we're going to put a lot of time into automation. So we've got to button that down for next year.
Okay, cool.
Kim Nelson says you
Wow.
can sort. She might need to do a master class on that because I can never find anything.
Sorry.
You got to do that and play We Are the Champions.
I'm
Yeah.
more excited about this one.
Oh,
that was awesome. Yeah. I
Have you
saw that.
seen those,
I saw
Chris? Isn't that cool?
post. Yeah, that is really cool.
all right. So all right. Let's not make this the Loud Pipe show here, Rich. This is the NPC show. I know you're bragging.
That
And
will be tomorrow night, live 9 p.m. Eastern on the same channel.
Yeah. And
Rich, did you catch the big announcement there at the end?
No.
all right. So Natalie, we did some announcements for 2020. Number 1, as you know, Natalie is not going to be admin next year. She's stepping down. What did you do, Rich? What was that sign?
Out.
But I will be available for consult because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
just
well,
pointed
yeah.
out to me that I am the premier, consultant.
We have a listener that
Most
is
expensive.
willing to step in to take be an admin to help
Nice.
out. So that I'm confident that we're going to bring that person online and in and help out. And the other big news is we kind of let everybody know about the team format change that we're going to do, allowing people to form their own teams.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's a done deal.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a
I
done
am
deal.
going to hammer that thing out smoothly
Well, this
before I leave.
this
The
is
admins have spoken.
see this is Rich's thing, and Rich
You've
kind of threw this
created a
idea out.
monster.
Yeah,
And-
I just thought we were going to talk about it a little more. That's all.
No. The caveat though is if it's for a podcast,
Right.
the host must form the team. So, what
What?
happened?
Alec Petzel said a fun team flash challenge reward idea would be to have a high score event where the winner gets to record a 60-second ad that the other teams have to play after the challenge.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
not explicit though.
So that's where we're going to go with that. So, Rich, if Zion wanted to make, let's say Kenny, we'll say Kenny wants to make a team loud pipes. He can't make the team loud pipes without you or me or Rico creating the loud pipe team.
And
And
one of the
partake in
on-air hosts would have to be the team captain for the podcast team.
Yep.
Now he's free to go make his own team.
Yeah, you can call it the Kenny team. I don't care.
The Northeast PA
Yeah.
Riders.
And get
Association.
whoever he wants on his team.
The Vulcan S team.
So it's, and I know Rich, you kind of threw this out, and I kind of shot you down. I was like, "What? No,
I
no."
looked at it
what?
down. I'm like, why'd you shoot him down? I didn't even know about that.
And I started to contemplate it some more, and I'm like, all
I
right.
started harassing him.
I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and it allows us to not. We still want podcasts to be involved, but yet it allows it to grow.
Well, and it's anyone that rides that wants to form a team. I mean, I suspect most of them will be podcasts of sort, or it might be,
People's
you know, like we talked. Yeah, it might be websites, might be a blog, maybe a video show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, are you going to change the title, John?
We got to discuss that one.
We got to discuss that still.
The Motorcycle Media Content Challenge.
The motorcycle podcasters, bloggers,
YouTube channel.
writers, and wannabes challenge.
But I mean, I think that would be cool if you did allow it to broaden out like that.
Yeah,
Tim, we still have to work out a lot of these details.
yeah,
We've got to sit down and get those
yeah. We
things
got
figured out.
Yeah, it's a sneak peek. I know we'll figure it out. We got a year to figure it out. And I guess let me since you guys are on and we're kind of doing a little post-mortem show here. And yes, Rich.
Can I go first?
Yeah. Well, okay. I had a question, but okay, go ahead. Go for it.
You already know mine, so it's not a surprise. But if you're going to use the host mileage for something valuable, can we say that's a possibility up front?
You didn't know anything was wait, let me ask you this question.
No,
And
yeah,
as many stats and numbers and everything that we have to keep up with, did you think we were just randomly taking your mileage just for some giggles?
It's just that the going assumption was that the host miles didn't matter because we couldn't participate in the mileage challenge.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I thought it was a nice twist.
I thought it was a nice twist. I thought
Then it was a twist that we could only use
it-
once because now you just assume everything counts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everything.
Next time,
No,
3,000 miles. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I know. I agree. It was a good twist. Like I liked that twist in the Flash Challenge. But same comment that Rich made. Like we were kind of under that. We were thinking with the host miles don't matter. It's funny because I had just submitted my odometer at the beginning. I was like, well, what the heck to check?
Yeah, you're like, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
And then that comes out, and you're like, whoa, wait, what?
Surprise! But it's fine. It's all good.
And to let everybody know on that, that's why that challenge was so late coming out. Reward option was so late because it was a surprise, and I didn't want anybody to go, "Oh crap!"
and stuff it.
Start
And
riding.
let me go. I got a day. If we did it like Monday, you'll go, "Oh, I'm gonna take Monday off, and I'm gonna go ride, 1,000 miles to go get it." It's like
We just
Yeah,
found it was a way for the hosts to help their team, listeners, and the listeners to help their podcast team.
No, it was a cool idea.
Yep.
But I
Oh,
did.
the
I
teams,
almost
hugely.
emailed you guys saying I already submitted mileage. Can I submit again?
I'm suddenly feeling sick. I gotta go to like PA.
all right. So I'll ask this question, real quick. How'd you guys like it in May?
It was no cooler here than it was in July.
I think this last week here was like
At least the last couple days.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
It was fine. I mean, either way, Like last year was fine. This year was fine.
Well, you're in
I
New
mean,
England. You're in the Northeast.
No, I know. I mean, it was kind of cool actually because it was, I did my weekend thing in Jersey, and then yesterday Gina and I rode around, and so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Ted, I know you're in the comments. You're not on here, but
On Monday.
if you hear this, like 10 seconds off video, just let us know what you thought about this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it was I wanted to hope to change because I know last year we had people in California complaining about the heat, and now this year I think they're complaining about it being cold because I think there's a lot of them running out there we're cold and everything in the morning. So my one thought was moving it back a week.
It all depends. Do you think the holiday was a hindrance?
Yeah, Chris,
or was it
I mean, Rich, Chris, do you guys think the holiday? I mean, Monday was the holiday. Was it good? Do you think it should?
Basically, for me, basically was good. I mean, the only thing that was any factor for me was the weather was looking iffy Sunday to ride home. But I was like, all right, let me risk it because I want to be around Monday so I can get my streets. But other than it wasn't a factor. It was fine.
Kim Dawson said it helped, and Ted said May is the rainy season in the Northeast.
Yeah.
It's
the starting weather was tough for people in the northern part, like Wisconsin. I know it was still cold, like 40s. So that was a bit of a challenge. But the holiday can help and it can hurt. You get a 3-day weekend, but depends on your activities. For example, I was in the car. I put 1,600 miles on the car, left Friday night, and didn't come back till Monday. So I was like sweating bullets on the Flash Challenge that I basically came home and just had to do it the next morning.
Right. And I know talking about being cold, I know out in California they've been talking, if you heard, it's been cold out there. So yeah. I mean, I know we teetered that back and forth last year or at the challenge was when to do it because it was hot in July for people. And
I don't think June is an answer. Just from school and graduations, people kicking off vacations. July had the same problem with vacations, but at least like schools are out, schools haven't started. It's summer break. I don't know. I kind of like July, but Lord, is it hot here, and for the guys in Alabama, even worse.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna? Thinking about opening it up outside the U.S.
So, so to answer that question, I'll go with this much. I'll throw this one out, and I guess I'll share information. Lance is in Canada for creative writing. I've had conversations with him. He's willing to be our advisor for Canada. So I am probably, I mean, I'm leaning towards trying to open up for Canada.
It also depends on interest.
Any place else, we had zero interest. Any place else, zero.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to be anything, but I don't know what street signs are going to have. And
no, for sure. I mean, if the the interest is not there, then I wouldn't even worry about it. But if it gets to a point where I'd say like you have half as many people outside the country,
right,
inside, all right, maybe you look at it.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards
franchise it.
I'm leaning more towards again of doing a beta again to see what the input is because we can't add it to the challenge and have unknowns. I don't. I'll put it this way: I don't want to end up with a season 3 debacle of craziness of what's allowed and what's not allowed. So,
right.
All right.
Did you guys like the multiple rewards for the Flash Challenge?
Oh, yes.
To choose your own.
I like the choice. Yeah,
I did. I liked because you got to strategize a little bit and weigh out the options and.
Okay.
Although you really kicked us in the groin by saying you can't use it again. I was like, oh, come
on. Yeah.
Hey, that's the rules.
Did you like the fact that, I guess we'll go through this a little bit. Did you guys like the fact that not knowing what people were selecting for a Flash Challenge?
Yes.
and
I-
hidden.
I mean, one thing I was going to say is I think, any rules set up that discourages or at least doesn't reward sandbagging is good. Where it's just, I liked it this year because at first I was thinking, oh, maybe we don't want to submit things right away. And I was like looking at it going, after week 1, right? Not everybody, most teams were on par, right? Everyone had it figured out. Like
Right.
we're going to go for 3-letter streets that are the lowest we can get. So it's like, it's not like when you're going for max points where there's always maybe that, that town that's got 2 extra letters in it, or
You
an
hit that juggernaut.
X instead of a Q, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I actually liked, me personally, I enjoyed it more this year because I like let me just go ride to destination and then do a live stream and just have some fun and joke around or whatever. I like that aspect
Yeah.
of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you would be opposed to a closed system, like
Well,
where you know nothing until the results night?
I guess that's the other way to go. I mean,
Because that was an
I
option
could
that I
see-
pitched out. Was
I
We
actually
submitted.
like that idea. I guess it's the in between. I guess it's either make it so everyone just submits as they go, which I like because I think it brings more camaraderie and there's more.
Yeah.
There's
You
more
get people
interaction
more-
between the listeners.
Exactly. So I think I would keep that. But if you went the other route, that would be interesting too. Like nobody knows nothing. Everyone just does the best they can, and then at the end
You find out Wednesday, yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I know where you're going with this, John. That we don't want to lose the camaraderie and the fun that takes place in the Facebook group.
Yep.
So we need to find a way to keep that. And I don't know. I think that alone is going to keep us from doing a closed system.
Probably.
Uh,
But I think that was really successful this year. Like I don't know. It felt like it was even more than last year.
I think I know where you're going, Rich, with the closed system, and I've thought about that. And my thoughts is Facebook allows more people to see it because everybody that's friends and friends of friends see it.
Yeah,
So-
but the group is not. Should we just make a public group?
It doesn't make a difference. You can see them on the open side. If you're friends with a person, you see it.
No, it's not public though. It's not the same as a public group because
I mean, it's not open for everyone to see, but this is kind of is spreading from person to person slowly because if I'm some of my people, coworkers that I'm friends with on Facebook, they can see some of the posts and are like, what is going on?
like, what
Yeah.
is this?
But
Yeah.
then others can't. So you have to be friends with a person to see their post.
Right.
And then they're coming back and like, hey, what is this? Because with some of the people who are joining, I always check. I'm like, do you know someone in the group? And most of the time there is friends with 1 or 2 people in the group.
Got it.
So it is slowly getting out there that way.
Yeah. And I guess the next thing would be is how to vet if the person did it correctly, So then the admin actually has to go through and look at everything anyways. Because if you have a closed system, you could just say, hey, I'm going to post, I did this road, this road, this road, this road.
No,
And-
it'd be the same. You would still put in the photos and the evidence. It just would
Right.
be done in a closed system.
Yeah. All right. So that's just I'll just say my input. I think it should stay where it's at. But
Yeah, I think I would lean that.
Yeah.
way. Keep
And
it
like Chris
open
said, there isn't a huge advantage to, at least with the minimum score, there wasn't a huge advantage to sandbagging it because pretty much everyone was going to hit the minimum score for the week anyway.
Yep. So anyways, all right. So what else we got?
Unless you flip it to max points next year, and then all bets are off.
But we had a
then it
specific
gets exciting
strategy.
again.
We had a specific strategy in mind when we did the minimum points.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt anything to tell people. We wanted to, when we switched to street signs, a big concern is, okay, people's going to want south. They're going to want road. They're going to want boulevard. How
Yeah.
can we encourage them to not want those things and set the precedence? This is what's going to be on the sign. This is what we're accepting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And making those things undesirable.
Yeah, the minimum made you not want all that stuff. That's a smart idea.
Yep. So that's
So
what-
it served its purpose, even
Yep.
if there was a greater chance of a tie. And
so all right. Shall we shut this down? It's about an hour. Anybody else got any questions? You guys want to talk about anything else? We can talk offline if you want.
I'm still kind of numb. I totally expected to be up for another couple of hours figuring out signs for tomorrow. Because I'm riding to work the rest of the week. I'm thinking, all right, I can get one in the morning. I can get one on the way home.
Well,
It's funny riding home. It was raining really hard driving home from work, and I'm like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this.
Like, I got to ride tomorrow. But also, well,
I would have done it tonight, right? Because fourth week, the tiebreaker was who submitted first, right?
yeah, so I would have been
we
out.
had a whole process
Yeah,
set up for this.
we were we were debating about what we were going to do about that.
Okay.
Kim wants to know if the standings are posted, and if not, when will they be posted?
Come on, Kim, let him get a good night's sleep.
He's still recording.
Kim says he should be able to push a button and have them automatically.
That is
She's like,
true.
you don't have
That
to
will
post
happen
them,
next
just email
year.
them to me.
Yeah,
Next year, it will be like this. When we're ready to go, it'll just be like, click. We're done.
Yeah, it's
nice.
I'll say this much: this year it was in the back end. I got a lot of it done, and a lot of the framework for a back end tracking system got done, and then started running out of time and ran into more issues, and so it was a little debacle on my side, and that was, time. Kim, it'll be when I get there. Okay, just hold.
She has to go do post-challenge analysis to see how she can form her team and win next year.
There you go.
So wait, John, who was the individual challenge winner?
Alana Martinez from Girl on a Moto.
Okay.
By
She's gotta
9
be on the
points.
next podcast.
Do what?
She's got to be on the next NPC podcast.
All right. I will see what I can do, but I mean, she, as much as, she was all in. Girl on a Motor was all in. She rode 2,000 miles herself.
It was obvious these ladies came to win this year.
Yeah.
They got their footing last year, and then they
They came to win for sure.
They came to win, and they did pretty good. They did an awesome job, and I mean,
and Creative Riding picked it up this year too.
Creative Riding picked it up. They had some awesome riders with his team. I mean, and as I talk to people on the challenge, if you watch a challenge page, you'll see who's in it to win it and who's just having fun.
But we want to make it enjoyable for both types. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, people that are dead serious getting lowest values, and some people are like, I'm going to get whatever I get, and I'm just going to have fun. I mean,
yeah.
And we called it out, Rich. You can go back, but we called out some stuff from Narissa's. We kind of did some awards and some little.
Oh, she had a lot of fun with the video. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it was like I was waiting for more videos. I think that was week 2. Week 3 was more poses and stuff, and she was her and Chris and just everybody had a good old time. And
hey, several people had so much fun they went out and got extra letters this third week.
Oh yeah.
We had several.
They have like 8 letter
that
submissions.
weren't even drawn.
Yeah,
and we're like,
that's awesome.
What's going on?
Yeah,
it's like, wait, there was no queue.
Who was it? Anita Sangata went out and got an O. I'm like, why are you getting an O? She goes, I was just seeing if anybody was checking. I'm like, I'm looking at her sign. I'm like, is the sign screwed up and is it D? I'm like, what word is it?
That's awesome.
Oh, well, there's a sign. There's Anita. There's her bike. Approved. Just like, baby, we didn't do an O.
and then getting Flash Challenge email. Patrick Burns comes back and says, I'll take diamond. I'm like, half a diamond. I'm like, we didn't have diamond. What are you talking about? I mean, it was just like,
that's funny.
I mean, it was hilarious.
I'll take for my
and I know, let me throw this out, Rich, since you're on the show, and I know we're almost at the end, or we've been in this. I know we, as Natalie and I, get a lot of things for admins. I want to say thank you to you. People, you're behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Up until the challenge, you were helped me figure out the rules. You did a lot of wordsmithing on the rules. You did a video before the challenge. You helped produce the show. So thank you for all your support
You
as
can
well.
definitely tell when you're not a part of the recording session because it is a pure cluster.
Yeah. Last week, if anybody listened last week, I'm sorry.
My mic was falling. I'm trying to hold it up, and John's like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "No, my mic is falling."
I mean, it was a mess last week because what happened last week really screwed up. Was I go to YouTube, go to the old way because, and Rich, we got to figure this out at some point in fashion if that's how it is because getting rid of Google Hangouts. I go click it and it says too many redirects and it dies. I'm like,
Oh,
Then we had no sound.
and then we didn't have sounds and I couldn't switch the screen and I recorded on the Mac and I'm like, and then you come back and you're like, the audio on the YouTube video sucked. It looks like
well, yeah, it just picked up the laptop mic, which is what I'm using tonight. It's probably terrible.
So it's just like, and I'm like, well, here's the GarageBand. You're like, well, Nellie's mic isn't working. I'm like, oh, jeez Louise.
So, Chris, from editing now, even looking at the waveform, here's John's audio, right? Here's Natalie's. It's like just barely moving on the meter.
Yeah, on the same track.
No,
two separate tracks.
See, I just dealt with that on a recent episode. I had that on a single track. That was, let's just say I learned some features of my audio editing software.
Yeah.
So thankfully they were two different tracks so that Natalie was I just boosted it to the moon and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Kim, I'll work on it here. It's pretty much ready to go. I've been ready to go since about 4:00 this afternoon. Just all I gotta do is copy and paste. It's really all I gotta do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you want to, thanks for that. Thanks for the thanks, I guess, and I'll thank you guys again for doing all of the work.
Totally.
My stuff was behind the scenes, and then as soon as the challenge started, I completely checked out as a participant. So that's all you guys after that.
Yeah, and I know, and just want to let you know. And like I said, for 2020, we're already starting, and I have ideas, and we just got to knock them out. And Rich is going to be hating me because he'll be like, why are we worrying about this now? We got a year.
Well, I think first and foremost, let's settle on the date, get that out there for everyone so they can at least have that part down.
I'm on board with going with the same time frame. If anything, I'd move it back a week so it's off the holiday. But yet, I mean, then I worry about Northeast. I do worry about the people Northeast with the weather and stuff. So maybe we just keep it where it's at. I don't want to move it any farther in, and I hate to go to the fall.
Yeah, I think it's either May or July. I don't think you're gonna.
And I don't think it's going to be July. It's going to be fair to everybody in the
South,
the West, the Midwest. The Midwest. It's going to be too hot for them. I mean, you're not going to enjoy it. So I think it's going to stay right where it's at. That's my plan.
Yeah, I'm okay with the holiday. Like I said, had I not done what I was doing this year, although next year. Oh, that'll be tough. Okay, I'll be an international participant next year.
Oh, there you go.
We'll talk.
That's right, Isle of Man, huh?
We'll talk about that, Rich. We can talk about some things.
Yeah,
we can talk about some things.
We'll figure it out.
So one thing I did want to say is like all that prep work that you guys did, I thought was really helpful. Like the way the rules were laid out was like really clear. The videos and stuff, Rich, that you did, and then John, the stuff that you were doing with Dave and whatever. Like it really, it was for fun and whatever, but it really helped set the stage, and like the rules were just clear. It was just like I got it. Like I watched the videos, I skimmed the rules, I was like, okay, I got it. This is clear, so.
Yeah, those videos that Dave and I did in the beginning of the year, we were doing jokes and
but it drove the point home.
It was good too because it set the tone. Like this is lighthearted, and we're gonna have fun with this thing. And
we were trying to have fun with it, trying to show that hey, this is the joke. This is what we're gonna do. This is what's gonna be accepted, not going to be accepted. And I mean, I called Nally that day on the bike, and she said, "What sign on the bridge?" And it was, we're doing some things of what wasn't, and and I didn't, like the highway sign. I didn't want the highway signs, We want the street sign. And one of the last ones I did was in Southern Pines. And the reason I went down there was actually their street signs used to be these wooden signs, just a piece of wood with it engraved in it, and they replaced them. And the reason I was doing that was say, hey, this is going to be accepted. That was going to be a sign that we were going to accept, because
Right.
that is the community down there. That's their street
How
sign
they do it.
and how they do it. So,
Yeah.
and I wasn't looking for point value. I was just doing a sign.
Right.
So,
Right.
and Nellie's over here typing, and I'm not sure what she's typing. Who are you typing to?
She's her consulting
Kim
rate.
Dawson.
Her consulting rate sheet.
Oh boy, she's talking
this,
to Kim.
this much per hour. This much per day.
Uh-oh. Anyways, all right.
All right.
So, I guess, is there anything else that we want to talk with these guys about?
I think I am good.
You're good to go? All right, she's give me 1 minute.
While she's looking, I'll offer just one reminder that, one of the goals of the challenge is to raise awareness for all the shows. So we encourage everyone to check out the other shows. Everyone that's participating is listed on the website as far as the show name and a link to each individual podcast. So, if you haven't listened to the other shows, I encourage you to do that. Check them all out and support them as well.
If you know anyone who might want to participate next year, please let them know.
Yeah, and the other cool thing is, and I think I realized this today or the other day. I forgot everything about this. May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, so
Perfect.
I
Yeah.
think we need to keep it in May. Just me
Yes.
sitting here thinking, Rich, it is a good time
Good
in
point.
leading it into motorcycle awareness, as that's the goal, is to get people on motorcycles out on the street so cars do see us. And if you're in an area with a lot of cars, I mean, Rich, you probably can tell if you live in an area where there's a lot of motorcyclists, that people recognize you and drive differently around you. Like, you go to the mountains of North Carolina, people in cars are totally respectful for us. You get more in the city area, Charlotte, Raleigh, Hickory.
Perfect example.
They don't care.
Riding home yesterday, other than the bikes that were parked at work, I never saw another motorcycle on the road, and God had 3 different cars come into my lane and not see me.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Actually, it was interesting. Saturday, Gina and I drove separately. I drove the bike, and she was behind me in her car because she wasn't staying as long as I was. And she said she was more of a nervous wreck driving in the car watching me than if she had been on her own bike.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because of the near misses and whatever, it's like,
yeah, you just have to. It's one of those things, and so I actually think I think we need to stick to May, Rich.
I like that. I love that.
That's an
tie-in. a
excellent
good one.
point. That's a really good point, John.
So let's leave it, and it works out.
Maybe the week earlier is the way to go, because a lot of people go out of town.
I mean, we could actually
Do
do
a vote, in the survey. Just ask people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's in the survey.
And please fill out the survey.
Yeah,
it does
please.
help.
I mean, like I said, we've tried to use everything that some people get back. When we look at it and analyze it, and says, yes, that's not going to work. No, come up with some new ideas. That's one of the things.
And just because we didn't ask the question and you want to tell us, just send us an email.
Send us an email.
Open-ended.
Contact. We are. You've seen us. If you don't want to email us, you got us on Facebook. The other cool thing is I think the chat and love to see the challenge page stay active and people post stuff and talk about stuff. I mean, I know Lance did something today, so it was pretty neat.
That's cool.
All right. I think we can end this now, Rich. I want to end this.
Yeah, because I think people are
All right,
in the
shut
chat
it
room,
down.
they're like, this is ridiculous. As long as I've ever listened to a podcast.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So this has been 2019 Motorcycle Podcast Challenge. Results show. We're done. Put it in the books. Put a stamp on it. I guess the trophy's going to stay here, right, Rich? That's where it's staying?
It's going on a world tour.
A world tour. All right. All right.
There you go.
All
I
right.
never announced it, but I'm going to send it to everybody on the team,
That's
Awesome.
cool. That's
and I'm
really
going to
cool.
hand deliver it to Mr. Zion.
That's very cool.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. It was a blast, guys. Thank
Yes,
you
thank
very
you,
much.
Chris, again.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, John. Thanks, Natalie.
Yep.
Thanks, Russ.
All right. Stop the broadcast.